Hello everyone, Russ of Aquarimax here. Justine is the first in, was in several minutes ago before the stream even started, which is pretty awesome. And doing well, thank you for asking. Good to see you here. And the Pokesaurus also in the house. Came early, that's great. This is one of the few times I've had chats in before I even got on, which is great, I love that. You can see that the corn snake Mr. Skeletal has joined me today. Hello, how do you say that? Spidgels? And roly-poly person, greetings. Let me know if I said that wrong. But yeah, we're in the house, and I've got my snakeless on here. Funny thing about this snake, he's been gaining weight pretty regularly, but in April he actually lost 3 grams, which isn't exactly funny. I know why it happened. It's because we went on vacation first week of April, so he didn't have a meal that time, and then he refused food the second week, and then he went into shed. He went into his blue phase before shedding, and so didn't really eat much in April, just once, and so he didn't gain as much weight as we had hoped. But he's eating again, and we hope that he starts putting on weight again. Okay, you say Spiggle. Let's see. Dang it! What just happened? Are we back? I hope so. We got. Oh, I think we're back. And Justine's asking about the mantis. Hello and welcome again, Justine. Thanks for being the first one in the chat. The mantis actually has passed on. They don't live all that long, and it's been about a year. It passed away a little while ago, though. It's been some time. So unfortunately, no longer have the mantis, but I'm thinking I may get some more mantids soon. I really enjoy them. They're a lot of fun. It's just sad that they don't have really long lifespans. So it is back. So thank you everyone for being in the chat again and for joining me on the live stream. Roly-poly person, do you have a leopard gecko? I do indeed have a leopard gecko. Let's see. The leopard gecko's name is Puggo, and we've had her for, I think we're coming on 4 years or so now. And yeah, she's doing really well in a nice bioactive setup. Can you give us, Tennyson Kingsley asks if we can get an update on curly sow-bugs. So, Thylisticus convexus. Yeah, let me see, I'm going to try, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm going to try to show them to you on the screen, just a second. I'm going to grab them over here. They are extremely resilient, these guys. So let's see if this works. I'm going to try it. I don't know how good the lighting is, but there, oh yeah, that's working okay. These are some curly sow bugs, or curly pill bugs, whatever you want to call them. Thylisticus convexus. I collected the original stock for these a few years ago in my backyard. Maybe collected about a dozen of them, and I have since sold quite a few of them. And yeah, they're bulletproof. One thing I really love about these guys is that they are really tolerant in terms of humidity. They don't really seem to care if it's high humidity and low ventilation, or lower ventilation and humidity. They don't care. They're really good that way. Kind of bulletproof isopods, and so I really enjoy them. All right, there we go. And one of the few, I have several that I've collected wild, but this is one of the few that I've collected wild. Okay, so yeah, I hope everyone's hearing me okay. I just found out that my microphone is apparently broken. That was disappointing. So yeah, I tried to test the microphone right before the live stream, plugged it in, recorded, plugged it in. I kept it plugged in, held it away from the camera. It didn't sound any different. And then I unplugged it, still didn't sound any different. So crummy. Yeah, super crummy. All right, so Justin Plasmeyer, how has herping been this year? Had a pretty good herping trip down in St. George area in April, early April. Not as good as the one we did last year in May, but pretty good still. We saw lots of the desert spiny lizards. We saw a lot of side blotch lizards, a lot of sagebrush lizards. Did we see any snakes? No. Saw a ton of Scolopendra polymorpha centipedes, some interesting beetles, things like that. So that was fun. I'm actually going to be releasing a video on it at some point. That's not all we found. We found a few other things too, but I haven't done that yet, and we're hoping to go herping again pretty soon. So I'm going to grab the zebras because somebody asked about the zebras. And sorry I keep popping in and out of the shot, but we've got some zebras here I'm going to share with you, and I want to catch up on the chat, and then I'll show some zebras. So, oh, the live chat needs to be enabled. That helps. And yeah, totally going crazy. One thing I love about the curlies, or the sometimes called teardrop isopods, is that they're super active. So yes, and so Justine, I'll be showing the zebras in a minute. Do you keep springtails in all your isopods? Pretty much, I do. I tend to introduce them. And oh good, glad to hear the audio is fine. Thanks, Supreme Gecko and Tennyson. And hey, Mason Vaughn, greetings, and I'm glad you love the channel. That's awesome. I love to hear that. So here we go for the zebra isopods. Zebra pill bugs. Let's move that down just a touch. Hopefully that's clear enough, and we'll get a shot of some of these guys. How's that? That's not too bad. I don't want to get so close that I mess up the focus, but you can see some of the zebras here. This is one of my 2 zebra enclosures. I have been working on this strain, trying to keep the stripes nice and solid. You can see that there are some of them that don't have quite as solid as stripes. Let's see. Can I spot any of those right now? Been working on it. I'm trying to separate the other ones there. You can look at some of these on this side. Now, this colony is fairly recently moved to this container, but you can see they're all over the surfaces. Here, maybe there's some down here too. Yeah, there's a lot in there. And there are lots of little babies and stuff running around. I don't know if you can see that in the leaves and whatnot, but there are quite a few. That's not working. You can't even see the angle that I'm trying to get to. But they're on here all over the place. Doing pretty nice. Okay. Oh, sorry, I put it on top chat. I didn't mean to. Okay, catching up. So, Mason Vaughn says, how long did it get to take these numbers? Actually, I have sold so many zebra isopods, I don't even know. So I wouldn't give you a very accurate representation. I've sold hundreds of them, maybe more than hundreds, but definitely hundreds of them. And they are, oh, see, there's one. I don't know if you can see that now, probably not. And I have another container of them as well, another enclosure of zebra isopods. But I got these, I want to say about 4 years ago, and have produced a lot and sold a lot. So there we go. I think I sold like 150 of them at once, and I've just probably sold another 50 in the last month, something like that. Oh, Tennyson, how do you keep the stripes? So what I do is I separate the ones that just have the spots out into different, like I put some of them in my vivariums as bioactive cleanup crew and stuff in other places, so that the ones that have the stripes breed. But if you like the ones with the broken spots or with the spots, I've actually thought of just isolating them, because people have done that. Apparently it's like a recessive gene, sounds like it is, from what I've heard. And so it might not be hard to get another strain going. So if you like those, Heather, maybe we can get that going. And Supreme Gecko says, for your zebras, do you mist only a corner of the tub? Typically, yeah, a corner, or just maybe one short side of the tub that I mist, or just pour water on, whatever. That seems to work just fine for me. And they seem to appreciate having a lot of dry areas. So almost, not quite as dry as Porcelio, giant Spanish Porcelio, but kind of close, actually. And thanks, Justine. I'm glad you enjoyed the zebras. I love it when people make requests like that. It's just fun. Now, check out this corn snake. He is really chill. He loves to hang out on me. A lot of corn snakes are like active, going everywhere. He really relaxes. He's one of the most chill corn snakes I've ever seen. Okay, so Mason Vaughn, where do you sell? I sell straight from my website, aquariumax.com. There's a price list on there. It says stock/price list up at the top of the menu. You go there, you can see the prices and shipping information and so on, and then you can message me from my website as well. They have, there's a contact form there, contact us, and you just message me there. And I take PayPal and so on, and that's how I do it. Works pretty well. It's a good season to ship right now too, because it's not too cold, not too warm. Great season to ship for another month to 2 months-ish, and then July I kind of calm down on the shipping usually, except if it's express shipping, because it usually gets kind of hot through July and August, and then start shipping again in September, and I'll ship until November-ish, and then I'll slow down. I still ship, but generally express shipping and stuff like that. Or sometimes I can do it with 72-hour heat packs, which I usually keep on hand during the winter. Just depends on what I'm shipping. Just a second. I've got a snake I got put down, or readjust. I'm putting down the zebra pill bugs. So, let's see. Let's see. What are the tall containers behind you by the green bottle? I should pull one of those out. Just a second. I'll do that in a minute. And I'll show you what it is. Justine says there's another channel, I think. It is called Insect House. They have black isopods with a yellow stripe down their backs. Corn snakes are awesome. I wonder if those are some of the Porcelia ornatus, which are pretty cool. I like those. And some of them have a lot of yellow on them. I'd love to see what those are. And corn snakes are indeed awesome. Look at that color. He shed about a week and a half ago. Still looking pretty shiny. And yeah, his color is kind of like the orange vigor isopods. Yeah, it's true. And you're welcome, Justine. So yeah, Mason, I'll hope to hear from you soon. Oh, they're high yellow isopods. Okay, cool. High yellow ornatus, probably. That's cool. Okay, I'm going to put this guy away. So everybody say bye to Mr. Skeletor the corn snake. It's his dinner day. He gets his food today, so he'll be excited about that once I feed him. But I'm going to get what is in that container back there out so you can take a look at it. Just a second. So it's going to take me a second because I got to put the lid back on the snake enclosure so he doesn't decide to take a little vacation outside the enclosure there. Now he's all up. Whoa, I just kicked the box. That was fun. Okay, I'm going to show you what's in here. Let me get it out. This is fun. Okay, just going to warn those of you who might have an aversion to arachnids. This is an arachnid, so just, arachnid warning. It's coming. It's not a true spider. It's not a tarantula, but it is an arachnid. So you have been warned like 3 times in the past 30 seconds. Just saying. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, the huge budgie on my head in the thumbnail. I just turned that budgie picture into a PNG and thought it'd be kind of fun to put it on my head. Who knows? A little whimsy. Okay, I'm ready. Here we go. Arachnid alert. This is one of my tailless whip scorpions. I own 2 of them. I got them as hatchlings. They were really tiny, and they have grown up. I've had them about 4-ish years, maybe a little over that. No, I think it'll be 4 years, 5 years. I don't know, something like that. It's been a while. That's what's in there. This is my male. Got a male and a female. They have produced about half a dozen spermatothecae, something like that. But I don't have babies yet. I'm hoping to get some. And Justine says, I will try to grab a pic for you to show you. I would love if you got those. I would too. I totally would. How about the vinegaroon? Yeah, I can show you the vinegaroon if he's not too mad at me. So he's kind of not aggressive. I don't know what to call him. He's nervous, maybe. And oh, okay. So you've seen the video on how that I made about how to keep these guys. That's cool. Yes, an amblypygid is the scientific term for these tailless whip scorpions or whip spiders or whatever. And Heather Jensen, do you still have armadillium magic potions? I do. I'm going to put this dude away, and I'll see if I can pull out the magic potion. So, where's his enclosure? There it is. I put it on the floor. Okay, just a second, guys, while I put this away. Sorry for the delay. Takes a second. You can see the population of springtails in his enclosure is doing well. I think it was Supreme Gecko was asking about that in my isopods. I do keep springtails in my isopods, but I keep them with almost everything else too. Keep them with my millipedes, keep them with my tailless whip scorpions. I don't think I have any with my vinegaroon. Zip. I have 2 vinegaroons, one's hibernating right now, so it's almost like I don't have one because when they hibernate, they disappear for months. Last year, they both hibernated and they disappeared from like December until June. And this year it hasn't been quite as bad. Okay, I'm going to try to pick this guy up without getting sprayed. It's a little challenging. Don't spray me, okay? I don't really like that. Wow, he didn't do it. He didn't spray me. I'm so excited. It's hard when he sprays me. This is one of my vinegarons, my bigger one. Got these guys when they were little babies. They're captive bred siblings. And yeah, this you can see this one probably should have gotten down for molting, but did not. I don't know why. Okay, so So going back to catch up on the chat now. Do you still have magic potions? Oh yes, I'll try to show you those in just a minute. And Elaine Smith says you use cork bark for isopods. Can you use palm fronds? I've heard about people doing that. So how to treat it? I've never used the palm fronds, seen people do it. If you're reasonably certain that you don't have to worry about insecticides on the palm fronds, I would just cut them up into manageable pieces so I could cook them in the oven and heat them up for 30 minutes at about 200 degrees. That's what I do with most of my stuff when I'm putting it in isopod containers. Not everybody does that, but I do that, and that's what I would do, just to keep other bugs from coming in that you don't want. And Mr. Snake, did the babies ever hatch? Do you mean from my Dalmatian diadema? Oh, okay, you do. And they haven't produced an egg sac yet, even though they've produced spermatothecae several times. No egg sac yet. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully that'll come eventually. And Tennyson Kingsley is asking about magic potions. Magic potions are a type of Armadillidium isopod, and they are really interesting because they have mostly white bodies, but they're kind of like something like a Dalmatian version of an Armadillidium vulgare isopod. So they've got little black flecks or dark gray flecks on them, and they've also got little yellow flecks. They look pretty cool. I like them a lot. They're not very active. They're not very fast breeders, and they so in terms of watching them and seeing them breed, they're really not all that exciting. But in terms of their coloration, they're amazing. So I really like their coloration. I'm hoping mine will breed eventually. But just to put it in perspective, I got about 12 powder oranges, about 12 dairy cows, and about 6 magic potions all at the same time back in December. I have probably over 100 of each of the others. I haven't counted them, probably more than that, of the powder orange and the dairy cows, but of the magic potions, I have exactly 6. They were kind of young at the time, but they were big enough to breed, and they've grown since. None of them have died, but they're really not doing a whole lot. So they should eventually, but they're just not really fast breeders. And they're always buried. They're almost always buried in the substrate. Maybe things will change a little bit when the culture becomes, more mature. There are more individuals. So Justine says, yes, my grandson loves it. Which is easier to maintain for a beginner, a vinegaroon or Tailless whip? Ooh, let's do a comparison. I would say probably comparable once you've got the enclosure set up. I would say in terms of care, they need food. Well, I would say the vinegaroons probably they're more aggressive eaters. They probably eat more often and more volume. They're probably less picky. You can feed vinegaroons like mealworms, as well as crickets and other insects. They would eat roaches, they'll eat, whatever. They're not picky at all. If it moves, they'll eat it pretty much. And they're not so picky about size either. The Dalmatian diadema, at least, the species of tailless whip that I have, is very picky about food. In terms of size, you want to get a size of an insect that's close in size to the pronotum. This is the pronotum, this part on this creature here. You want to get about, like I said, about that same size. And it's really kind of crazy, but they need a deep substrate, these guys. The vinegaroons need a deep substrate with the proper humidity to be able to hibernate over the winter. The Dalmatian diadema just need good humidity, but they need vertical surfaces to climb and molt on, so it's a little different. So it looks like I just saw a super chat. Hey, Jay, thank you. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Jay Adams just handed me a super chat. That is awesome. I really appreciate it. So if you do have a question or anything, let me know, Jay. Happy to cover it. And Makai Mauka is here. Aloha from the Big Island in Hawaii, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly. And Blue Basin Aquatics, hey, welcome. And its abdomen is indeed huge. They tend to do this right before they molt. And I was hoping this one would go down to molt. Only one of mine went and molted this year. They don't always do that. I think this one has molted 2 to 3 times since I got it, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and did not molt this year. They just don't always hibernate and molt. So they always, if they're going to molt, they do it when they're hibernating. And this one decided not to. So Caleb says, my Armadillidium granulatum just had babies. Awesome. I recently got that species, but they haven't molted for me yet. And it kind of does look like a big ant, Chi chills, but it is actually a vinegaroon or whip scorpion. And Mason has a question. He says, I keep millipedes and a ton of cobweb mold has grown. Is it safe for them to be around and eat? My millipedes have not been showing themselves lately, and I'm worried it's the mold. Well, if there's a lot of cobweb mold everywhere, I'd say that's not necessarily a good sign. It's not necessarily going to kill them either, but not a great sign. I would say you might want to increase the ventilation a little bit. And do you have springtails in there? That's my go-to when there are mold issues. Those two go-tos. One, change the ventilation, increase it a little bit, especially cross ventilation if you can, and then put springtails in there. So if you haven't done those things, I would recommend doing those because that could be an issue. Justine says, we're looking for something that can be handled easily. It seems they're both friendly. I'm leaning more towards the vinegaroon. Well, vinegaroons don't live as long, but they're better eaters. You'll probably, they're less shy. They do spray, so there's that to keep in mind, that vinegar spray. You probably don't want to get that in your eyes. I got it on an open cut once or twice. Not fun. The Damon diadema are not going to spray anything. Neither of them are likely to pinch you. Both a lot of fun. So I hope I've answered a lot of the questions that you had about those to give you a good idea of a comparison. I think they're similar in ease, but this one has a little bit more specific needs in terms of hibernation, and the Damon diadema have more needs in terms of food and also molting surfaces. So hopefully that helps. Let's see. So, Elaine Smith, how are your beetles doing? Pretty well, most of them. I did have a loss since I made the new enclosure. One of the beetles passed away, but it looked like it was kind of not doing well for a while. I thought it was doing okay, but in retrospect, I realized maybe it wasn't doing as well, kind of going slower. And one day it just stopped moving. So I'm keeping it there because sometimes they'll do that, you know, death-winning beetles. But I'm pretty sure it has passed away, which is sad, so I'm going to have to remove it soon. But the other ones are all doing fine. And I think I have 2 males and 2 females. And I think they are laying eggs. I think I've seen the females laying eggs over in the rocky area that's kind of moist. So that's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about that. Hopefully we get some little larvae pretty soon here. Heather Jensen says, have you seen a Dendrophosopus marmoratus bird poop frog? Josh's Frogs has them, and I might just need to get one because they're adorable. I have seen video footage, I think. I've seen pictures of them for sure, and I think video footage of them. They are pretty cool. And I think that's an amazing adaptation. So that's awesome. I think that's such a cool thing. You get frogs that say, hey, don't touch me because I'm toxic, and you get other frogs that say, you'll ignore me because I look like bird poop. It's cool. Killer Snake 898 says, have you considered getting rubber duckies, isopods, or any of the Cubaris species? Yes, I have. That is the plan. I'm going to be doing that as soon as I can. They are awesome and very, very popular. So a little hard to get hold of, but I am working on it for sure. Itty bitty ladybug in the house. Nice to see you here. Mr. Snake says, my ball python is getting closer and closer to laying her eggs. I'm so excited for my first clutch. That is pretty awesome. Congratulations again, and I hope that works. Supreme Gecko says, have you tried the plastic metal vents for ventilation for your tubs? Well, I've been looking into it. I've been checking out the roundvents.com, the link you sent me, and I sent them I sent them a question yesterday to ask them a little bit about it. And they're saying that their vents don't have tight enough screen to keep out the bugs, because I was thinking, I was trying to figure out if they had any that are like that, or if I'm going to need to cover the vents with chiffon or something like that. So Wally, what do you do about that? Because I think they look great. They look so much easier than doing the chiffon ventilation. But what do you do about fungus nets and stuff like that? I'm really curious about that. I was going to actually message you today, and I didn't get to it. But let me know what you do about that, because I am interested in trying that out. And Islef Otero Garcia says this is a vinagrillo in Spanish, has vinegar and cricket. It resembles somehow like a cricket. Kind of does look like a cricket. But I love that word, vinagrillo. Because grillo is cricket, and so you get the idea of vinegar and cricket together. That's so cool. Vinegar cricket. Tennyson Kingsley said you should show us the Spanish orange isopods. Can do. Just a second, I'm going to put this vinegaroon away. Here you go, vinegaroon. Thank you for being nice and not spraying vinegar all over me. Okay, it's going to take a minute because he's very deliberate about getting off stuff once he's sitting on my hand. Okay. Wow, super deliberate. You really don't want to do this, do you? You don't want to move? Okay. Well, I don't want you to get mad. I really don't. I'm trying to get the vinegar off my skin here. I know it's not really vinegar, but it has acetic acid, which is in vinegar, so it's like vinegar that's 10 times stronger than vinegar, plus a little bit of caprylic acid and a little water. Okay, so let's try. And Tennyson also asked, when is the best time to look for local isopods? Well, this is a good season to look for isopods, at least in my area. Spring and fall are good because it's not too hot and dry. It's not too cold. Good time to look. I would say in the mornings, before the sun has come up, is a great time to look. I often find them in situations like that. But you can really look any time of the day as long as you're looking under things that are going to maintain some humidity, like flat pieces of wood or rocks or logs or leaf litter, that kind of stuff. You caught your ducks eating cat food. That's pretty awesome. Ducks are pretty they're not very particular about food, but that's funny. I use the vents for my geckos, but for the isopod tubs, I still use the chiffon to keep the bugs out. Ah, that makes a lot of sense. That totally makes sense. Okay. Yeah. I went and got the drill, the 1-inch drill bit to drill through the containers, and I've been putting chiffon over those. I so much prefer using the 1-inch hole and drilling the holes than I do melting them, or what's the other thing that I do? Just cutting them, or drilling small holes. So I love that bit, so thank you for the suggestion on that. I'm using it and I'm loving it. It's what I did for my some of my new containers of my isopods. I'm starting to go to that direction, so that's pretty cool. And good evening, Chad. Welcome. And Tennyson says, I'm in Utah, if that helps you tell when to look. Okay, yeah. Then this season is great. This is a perfect season. You can look all through the summer and all through the fall till about mid-October around here in Utah, as long as you're in the same climatic zone that I'm in Utah, because there are some different ones, of course. But and let's see. Yeah, so right now is great. Just go lift up things. One thing is, in Utah, most of Utah, we've had a wet spring, so that helps. But you can totally find, the most common species you're going to find in most of Utah is Armadillidium vulgare, the common pillbug. You can also usually find Porcellio scabra in lots of places. You can find Silisticus convexus. And down south in St. George, I found Porcellionides pruinosus and I think Porcellio dilatatus is what I saw down there as well. So you can find a few species here. And the Pocosaurus. Oh, my son is doing really well. He's enjoying it. Got to talk to him on Monday, and he's doing well. So, yeah, thanks, Wally. The drill is so nice. You should have seen me. I was there in the kitchen. My wife was doing something in the kitchen. I was doing something in the kitchen. I was drilling. I had brought a couple of containers in there to start drilling, and I was flipping out. I was like, that's so cool. I can't believe that. Just going through. Love that. I love the drill. So it's fun. And okay, Tennyson, if you're in the Salt Lake area, yeah, we're in the same climatic area essentially, so you should be able to find some, and that'll be fine. I think you'll find some. I've been seeing them lately, so you probably locate quite a few of those species. So, and Isuru, okay, I'm going to try your last name, Wanegasuria. Unfortunately, I don't have pet shops with arthropods or reptiles. Oh, that is unfortunate. Whereabouts in the world are you located, approximately? Can you get any online? Some places you can find a lot of them online, and that's kind of fun. Now, I lost track of what I was going to show everybody. It was the Spanish orange, right? I'll be right back with the Spanish orange. Okay. The Spanish orange, as far as I have been able to determine, are Porcellio scabra. And here they are. Oh, my camera scooped up. Just a second. I have to... There, that'll probably help. Okay, just a second. Sorry, everybody. Is that going to work? Did I just see a Dalmatian in there? I think there's a Dalmatian in there. Here, let's flip this over. You can take a look at some of the... Oh, the leaf's in the way. No fun. Okay, I let them all get away. But you can see the Spanish orange a little bit. There are a lot in here. But some of them are hiding in different spots. Here's a little group on the piece of charcoal with some babies and some springtails. Yeah, I need to change the substrate in here. It's been since, actually I've changed the substrate in here recently. It says 04, doesn't it? Yeah, 04, 06. So it hasn't been that long. They just go through it kind of fast because they're little voracious little critters. There you go. Now, I think you may have heard me say that I thought I saw Dalmatian in here. I probably did because I've done some crossbreeding. Of course, I produced some orange Dalmatians. And once in a while you get a funny one popping up. Yeah, it looks like there's possibly an orange Dalmatian. I don't know if you can see that right in there, right by my finger. Okay, so hopefully that satisfies your craving for Spanish orange isopods. They're pretty cool. First hobby species I ever got. So, Veranid guy in the house, nice to see you. Killer Snake says, in my country, a leopard gecko is $230 if you're lucky enough to find one. Wow. You can get one for $20 if you're, they're on sale. They're not the high-end morphs, of course, and some of the high-end morphs will cost a lot more than that. But, yeah, they usually don't cost that much for a lower-end one. Wow, in Sri Lanka, you'd have to ship everything in if you bought it online. I guess that's kind of tricky. Yeah. That's too sad. Okay. Well, oh, Jay's Crazy Obsessions in the house too. Nice to see you. Tennyson Kingsley, can you show us the orange Dalmatians and tell us which isopods you are crossbreeding? Okay, just a second here. I'm not crossbreeding any species, but I am doing some morph mixes. Good morph mixes, that's not quite the same as, oh, I should have opened the lid later because there were a ton of them running around. But there you go, you can see some nice orange Dalmatians here. Of course, with orange Dalmatians, as with any Porcellio scabber Dalmatian, you're going to get a wide variety of colors. And, well, you're going to get a wide variety of coloration indicating, what I mean by that is you're going to get some that are almost all white and some that have a lot more orange on them. And there's a couple there that are nicely patterned. And you're going to get some that, are just somewhere in between. That's what you get. With the orange Dalmatian, I'm still culling out some of these that are just normal Dalmatians as well. There's some of that going on. I can see one or two in that shot. They're just normal Dalmatians. So I go through here periodically and cull out the ones that are not actually, they don't actually have orange. They're just normal Dalmatians. There's a couple of nice ones there you can see though. Hopefully that helps. Pretty good colony going. I mean, could be better, but it's not bad. Probably, yeah, it's been since December since I changed their substrate. I top it off. I add leaves all the time. Like every week I add leaves. Or my son does, because that's part of his job. He earns money from me by doing some chores in here. But, yeah, that's kind of how it goes. I'm going to put these guys away now. The orange Dalmatians. And catch up on chats, because it looks like I need to go soon. Let's see. So, thanks for all the likes, everyone. Thanks to Wally Supreme Gecko for getting that going. 17 likes, not bad at all. Killer Snake says, oh, and here comes some more. I saw one video you had found a super yellow isopod and you had a breeding program with it. What happened to it? Sorry if I'm mistaken if it's another channel. Nope, it's this channel. I did find it. I found several super yellow isopods. I found one that was really, really yellow, one that was pretty good, and then some that had varying degrees of yellow, but more than the normal yellow you'll find on Armadillidium vulgare. And so I collected about, I want to say a dozen of them, and that was several years ago. I'm going to show you that one. The project's not done. It took a couple of generations for anything to really show up, because, we've got some recessive genes, and basically we're line breeding here. So it took a while for anything to show up, but things have started to show up, but all the generation that looks promising is still too young to really tell what's going on. So I'm gonna show you what I got here. There's some babies there. You can see some of them are pretty pale, but that can't really see. Let's try that. Okay, you can see how some of them are kind of pale. That will not necessarily hold into adulthood, and the males in this strain don't carry the color. The males are just normal. So some of those you'll see in there are normal. You can see some of these have a decent amount of yellow on them. Hopefully you can see that. But some of these younger ones are really, really pale and will probably come out high yellow, but it's hard to say until they're older. But I can see some there that I think are going to be really, really yellow. I'm just hoping so. So this generation, if this generation proves out nicely, I can start letting a few go. I'm going to hold some back, of course, but hopefully we'll get something good out of it. Because like this individual right in the middle of that piece of charcoal that's heading off, I think it's going to be really, really yellow when it gets big. So we'll see. All right, so I'm going to take a couple more chats and then I've got to take off. So let's see. And we're almost there to the 25 likes, Tennyson. Thanks, Elaine Smith, for joining in, and have a good evening yourself. Heather Jensen says, a lady donated a stuffed silver fox to my museum today. It was her pet. She gave us the rabies tags and collar. You never know what will walk in. That's crazy. Tennyson Kingsley, what other species have high yellow? I think it would be cool to get an all-yellow Porcellio scabber. Let's see. There are a lot of species that have high yellow, actually. Some naturally, without any playing around, like and some, well, Hazai, Porcellio hazai, one of the giant Porcellio species, has some high yellow versions of it. I think some of those are wild types, and some of them are cultivated. The Porcellio ornatus has a high yellow type. There's actually a lemon frost Porcellio scabber, which is a calico type that is mostly yellow. So I got too close, or I messed up the angle there. Something like that. So, and I haven't yet, Jay's Crazy Obsessions, I want to, but I haven't been there yet. I hope to do that soon. It seems super cool. I haven't quite been there yet. All right, so thanks for joining in, everyone. I've got some unboxings coming up. I've got some other fun things coming up. I've got a new bioactive vivarium project I'm working on. I'm starting up, so I should say I'm starting it up very soon. So stay tuned. Thanks for joining. Thanks for all the likes. Thanks for the super chat.